The New Zealand Prime Minister, New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins, was asked to define a woman, and he said, well, people identify for themselves. He couldn't answer, and it was excruciating to watch, to be honest with you. And this has been a sort of hot potato question for world leaders. Some of them seem incapable, including Keir Starmer here. What is a woman, Prime Minister?
An adult female.
How difficult was that to answer?
Not too hard. I was asked. I was asked during the campaign, actually. But I think that we need to. I think I respect people for whoever they are, and it's up to people to to be respected. And I know that there is some controversy can come at times like that, and I'm not a fan of some of the campaign. There was recently a very controversial visit in Australia that was designed to stir up issues, and people who are, young people coming to terms with their identity and who they are. I think that they need to be respected as well.
Well, what would you do, for example, with this issue of transgender athletes in women's sport, which many world sporting authorities are now beginning to move to exclude them because they say it's simply not fair?
Well, that's an example in that the sporting organisations are dealing with that issue.
What's your view?
My view is the sporting organisations should deal with that issue.
Does it seem fair to you that people who were born biologically male with all the physical advantage should be able to compete against people born with female biology?
Well, in Australia, the sporting codes are able to deal with that, and they have effectively, and they've done so in a way in which during the last campaign, there was one of the candidates chosen who tried to make that front and centre, that issue. I've got to say, as I've gone around and my son played junior sport for both football, as in soccer, and Australian rules football and cricket and everything. None of these issues ever came up, and I don't think they're front and centre.
That's because it wasn't happening then.
Well,
you didn't get biological males competing against biological women. I mean, that's the problem with it. To me, I can support transgender rights to fairness and equality, but right to the point where they infringe on women's rights. I mean, they've got to also have fairness and equality.
And that's why sporting codes should be dealing with it.
Yeah, but you're the Prime Minister of Australia. You must have a view.
No, that's why sporting codes... That's my view.
Are you ducking it?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm saying that what it shouldn't be done is done to try to politicise an issue that should be made on its merits based upon the proper assessment of whether it's fair or not, but done in a way as well that doesn't seek to essentially target a very vulnerable group. And that's my concern.
Well, I don't think they should be demonised in any way.
And that's my concern as well.
I get that, but I think there are serious issues which have to be addressed.
Of course they are, but it should be done without the targeting of a vulnerable group of people, and that's my view, that people should be respected. The sporting codes are dealing with it. And what occurred when this debate happened in Australia is the sporting codes said themselves, we're dealing with this. We don't need this to be politicised, and we don't need politicians buying into it.